Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day so far. I'm sure I gave it away in the title that I'm going to be making my very own chess set. In one of my recent videos, I expressed my heavy addiction towards chess. I think it was the ChessBot one. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a pretty good video, I think. It's now several months later, and that addiction is still very present in my life. So I thought, what better than to combine my passion for chess with my passion for making stuff. I also recently got laser cut certified here at UT's workshop, so that will be very helpful in making this board. That's really where the inspiration came from. And then for the pieces, I'm probably just gonna 3D print them. Maybe I'll make my own designs, take inspiration from others, you know. But rather than tell you how I'm gonna do this and that, I'll just start yapping during my design process. I'll throw it on screen like a B-roll, but instead of music, it'll be me talking the whole time. And I will admit that I have already started working on it before recording this. Really, it just came to me that I can make this into a video. Hope you enjoy it, and yeah, I'll see you in the design process. Yo, what's up? I am not designing right now. As you can see, this is me editing the video. This is like weeks after that first clip. I cannot find my film for my designing phase. I do have the design phases for the chess pieces. You will see that. But for the board design, the little bit of film that I did do, because I had already started the design, can't find it. Not really sure where it went. So you're just gonna get to see me laser cutting. I'll talk about the designing while you see the laser cutting stuff. And sorry if I sound a little bit stuffy. I think I'm a little sick. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so no design for the board. I just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you. Yo, it is VoiceOver Jet in editing, and I'm just gonna yap a little bit about my design process for the chessboard. So I had two goals for this design. One, I wanted it to be minimalistic, and two, I wanted it to feel natural. I one time saw somebody carve out a chessboard from a tree trunk, and I thought that was really cool. You could see all of the wood pattern and engraving in the board, and I wanted to incorporate that into my design. So I overlaid onto the blank piece of plywood a wood pattern, and I also put it into the whites of the acrylic. And what that did is it created depth. I saw somebody else in the TIW, our workshop here at UT, incorporate that into a portrait of our mascot, and it made it look so much more three-dimensional because the lights were the acrylics and the darks were in the wood. And I wanted to incorporate that, as I said, so that was what I did. You can see now the execution of it, and I'm pretty happy with the results. So I'm back at the apartment after finally getting the laser cutting done. This is actually the next day because yesterday I was sleepy and tired and I felt like playing video games, so that's what I did. But here we are. I also want to flex real quick that I've realized I need both hands to show you the board. So I rigged up my other tripod to hold my mic, which I thought was very innovative thinking. I'm really proud of it, so thank you, thank you. Here is the chessboard as it is now, just with the laser cut parts, which I'm pretty happy about. This is the acrylic and wood separate. I'm sure I talked much about it. And while this is what I had in mind while cutting it, when I was cutting it, I took many test cuts because I was worried that I wasn't gonna do it right. I can show you some of those. They're kind of cute. They're like these little small cubes, these little small squares with different designs. This is the first take on the wood, and I realized that I did not add any contrast. These are the other two. The only difference between these two, let's see if they focus. Yeah. The only difference between these two is that I want to say this one, oh, my hands are flipped. You can see it has a little bit of a gradient for the light and dark squares. The reason for that is because in the design, I had the pattern, the wood pattern that I downloaded, I had it spreading through the white squares as well because I wanted the pattern to show. But when I did that, I did do the engraving too deeply, and so it kind of just blended in with the dark squares. So I had a friend point out to me that I should take that one off completely, and he was right, because this is how the next one came out. Now that I have the wood and the acrylic, my big plan is to, one, make pins for the corners. Pins probably isn't the word, like a standoff, because I'm not sure how much I want the board to just be flat with the acrylic and wood together. I'm actually gonna probably flip the camera to my desk so I could show you my hands there. Okay, hopefully this angle is okay to show you what I mean by the standoffs. As you can see now, the acrylic and the wood are flat together, and I'm not sure I want the board to be that flat because then it's kind of strange. I don't know, I've never seen a chessboard that thin. It's only going to be around 9 millimeters. So what I'm thinking is to add standoffs in each of the corners, so it could probably be at least 3 millimeters high. I think I might be looking more to 4 to 5. But I just think that looks a lot cleaner and also adds a little bit of depth to the board, because right now the design feels very two-dimensional. And I just like to see a change in that. Of course, I'm not going to glue the standoffs right away, so if I decide to change that, I can. And then my next step is going to be designing and printing the pieces. I'm going to 3D print them. I don't have a wood shop certification, so I can't go on a lathe and just, spin around and cut them, even though that would be much cooler and a little more classic for the chessboard rather than 3D printed pieces. But I will say you can print some pretty cool stuff as your pieces. I've looked at a lot of designs online. I think I am going to design my own, even though I see a lot of designs I kind of want to take some influence from. I just always have an issue importing STL files from online and trying to print them. So I think one, it would be a learning experience, and two, it'd probably be easier on the technical side if I design my own pieces. Though they won't be anything crazy, I don't think. It might just be a few hours just designing each piece. Of course, we'll see. Maybe I have a lot of fun doing it. But yeah, let's get to designing those standoffs first. I think I'm going to do them in white because sadly I don't have brown filament, even though that'd be really cool if I had brown filament. Or if I decided to do the standoffs in a metallic material instead, I think that would look really great. But for right now, I have my white filament 3D printer, so I'm going to go for it. Now, to design the pieces, I went online to find some inspiration, and I ended up going with this rectangular base and gap in the piece, which to me added a floating characteristic to it, and I really liked that as it carried vertical momentum that my board carried. As I added standoffs between the acrylic and the wood, thought it just matched the set vibe overall, and I was pretty happy with it. For the pawns, it was smooth. Making the pawns, I really enjoyed 2 iterations at most, and it was just height that was the issue. Bishops and horses, on the other hand, were horrible, and designing them made no sense to me. I couldn't think of an aesthetic appeal to add to them, and I had to whip out a calculator trying to do the math to make sure everything was symmetric. So that's how that went. It worked out in the end, but yeah, that was not a great experience. Okay, so it's probably been about a week since the last clip that I made that you just saw in this video. For you, it's been 3 or 4 seconds probably. I don't really know, I haven't edited this yet. But this last week I was super busy and I hadn't really got to work on the chessboard. The last thing I did was that catting you saw, which was a while ago. I don't even remember really doing it. But I do remember I need to redesign the horses and the bishops because I didn't like how they came out. Look at this. Look at this bishop. That's really bad. It's lame. It could do better. The horse is also horrible. I don't even want to show it because that one's really bad. So I'm going to work on catting it probably right now. I did finish the pawns. These are the pawns, and I like these. These are cute little guys, and they're very modern. That was the goal when designing them. Hopefully I can carry that on with all the other major pieces. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing right now. Hopefully I can get it done this week. That would be really, really cool. Hello. It's been a little bit again. I don't know how long it's been since I recorded the last part, but very good news. I actually finished everything. There would be more clips segueing into this, but my tripod broke when I tried to record my designing process and printing, and I couldn't figure it out. And rather than trying to make do with something else, I decided just to go ahead and design it because it's already been a while since I began this little project, and I wanted to make sure I could finish it and not just push away all the motivation I had to do it. So I just went ahead and designed it. It took a few hours to finish all the pieces and print them. Printing took forever. Oh my goodness. My print failed after 8 hours. I was gonna cry. It one of the rooks printed 60-70% of the way and then fell off. It lost adhesion to the plate and started knocking over other pieces, and I had to stop the print. I got pawns out of it when I was printing the black pieces. The pawns weren't necessarily finished. So I went to reprint the major pieces, but the pawns I was going to deal with until I accidentally printed the entire set again. So it took another 10 hours of printing, but I got all of the pieces done. So now I'm completely done with this project. I'll probably just put video overlay of the pieces and everything, the board and all that while I'm talking. Maybe I'll add a little bit of B-roll. But overall, I'm really happy with how the designs all came out. I was definitely lost when I first started designing the pieces. The board was easy to design, and I knew how I wanted to make the board right away. But the pieces were different because I wanted to make them, very minimalistic, because I thought it'd be very challenging to 3D print or design 3D prints that were very complex without ever having experience designing something as complex as pieces. So I wanted to go minimalistic while still just having my own style to it. And so that's what I went for, and it took a few iterations for some of the pieces. But overall, it went pretty smoothly, give or take 20 hours of printing that didn't work out. I already know in the future I have some plans to make another board, but with LEDs and with a timer built in, maybe connected to Arduino. But I do want to create, like, slowly move towards a smart board, because that would be really dope to have my own. If you go online, those like nice smart boards are hundreds of dollars. So I really want to try making my own, and every iteration make them nicer and nicer. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the video. I'm probably in editing gonna add more when I realize that I messed up certain parts. But as of right now, where I stand today, that is it. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any improvement suggestions that I can make for the chessboard, or maybe things you'd like to see in the future, comment them down below. I'll be happy to implement them. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And as always, stay curious.